I am a mail-order bride from China. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some recent r/confessions posted on Reddit. I am a mail-order bride from China. My first husband was a naturalized Chinese American citizen who could not get anybody to marry him in the States, so he came back to China and found me through marriage services. I agreed to marry him to save face for his family, and he gave me the green card, a fair trade. When I came to the States, I realized the truth about Chinese men in the West: nobody wants them. Even before I came to the States, I had read stories and books about how Chinese men are undesirable. Many Chinese men bitterly complain most Chinese women who come to America end up marrying white men. As I witness white men for myself, I understand why. They are charming and respect women as equals. I dreamed about being with a white man after the first time I saw one. I eventually lied to my husband that I did nails when I actually met John, his friend, for sex. It was heaven. The white man kissed me, caressed my nipples, then thrust in me strongly and firmly, with all his love and care. Compared to white men, my Chinese husband was like a horny prepubescent teenager who tried to come and finish as quickly as possible. That happened many times, and eventually my husband found out. I expressed that I wanted a divorce, but he begged me not to, because getting another wife would be expensive and he would lose face. I was torn apart emotionally because, after all, he did give me a green card. But I also wanted to follow my heart. I did what I had to do. 1 year after I obtained my green card, I filed for divorce. Then I married John 6 months later, and he is the love of my life. Our sex life is amazing. Together we have raised 2 children and our lives are filled with happiness and joy. I spent 24 years of my life being insane. I have spent 24 years being insane. I didn't know it until now, at 35, that after my parents' divorce they both became extremely disinterested in me. They became consumed by their own lives, my mother going after a career and her new husband, and my father going after the things my mom always nagged him about: hunting, fishing and motorcycles. I was left behind. My sister had friends, her own life, was already 13 and in high school. I was just starting middle school, scared, insecure, and now abandoned by my parents. I went to video games, playing EverQuest as my solace. It's all I thought about in school or any other time. It was my world. I remember as a junior in high school I wrote a paper about video game addiction and used myself as my example. I cried while reading it in front of the class. I didn't know at the time, but I was crying out for friends because I was so alone. I tried to move on, but I ended up sitting in a small room in my dad's house from 19 to 26 after my mom kicked me out and turned my room into an office. My dad let me rot back there, every couple months getting mad at me for not getting a job. That's it. Never cared about me or talked to me. Gave up on me. Eventually I went to college. I excel in school and got all A's and transferred to uni from my community college. I had a few relationships with women, but never any real friends. I used drugs and developed an alcohol problem in high school that continued my whole life. I couldn't get through it. My relationships were awful and we ended up damaging each other. My exes despised me and me them. Secretly I love all of them. I am homeless, living my car right now. I was homeless before in my life. I had a baby with a woman and she was taken from us right at birth by CPS. She has mental stability issues, just like me. So I'm 1,000 miles of home, my family literally saying my face I am not welcome. After 3 weeks in San Francisco and every single person being friendly and sweet and loving towards me, I had an epiphany. I looked up the definition of insanity and it described my thought process to the T. Irritability, negative thinking, paranoia, disgust, can't let go of the past, and it all started when my parents divorced and failed to aid me in recovering. I realized that even though I did all the things I did and I accept responsibility, it wasn't my fault. I was insane because my parents didn't raise me right and blamed me because I couldn't fix myself. I cried harder than I ever have, unable to breathe. I am free now. I love myself. I am happy. I accidentally whacked off to underage girls more than once. I'm 21, trying at the moment to control my masturbation habits. I'm not into actual porn, I have different interests than that, and I think pedophilia is absolutely disgusting, nor am I at all attracted to underage girls. Hell, I am completely OCD to who I whack off to, making sure that if they look young, they're past 18. That being said, I've had a few accidents when it comes to this, all within the span of this year. Before you ask how this could accidentally happen more than once, let me explain, both of that were under different causes. The first two occurrences were under the same thing. I did it to somebody I knew was an adult, except it was when they were younger. I didn't pay close attention, and realized they were when the person was 17. The other times, I decided to do it to Instagram/TikTok dancers, all who were clothed. Other than the fact that half of those TikTok videos are absolute cringe yet are easy material to me. Yet this seemed like a huge risk because most of the users are between HS students and young adults, the latter I pay attention to. This was when I had to be extremely careful, and believe me, it was easy to guess who was young and who were of age. That being said, I've had 2 slip-ups where I didn't checking, one of them being 15, and believe me, she didn't even sound that age. So now, after that, I'm just quitting doing it to that altogether. I'm only writing this because while I know I'm not a pedophile, and these were just accidents, I had to confess, because when it happens more than once, I'm afraid there will be a problem. Again, I am extremely careful. All of these accidents happened this year, and the idea of doing it to someone underage is disgusting. With this going on, it's why I'm trying to limit how many times I do it. But yeah, had to get this out. I think I am going to be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. People will hate me for this, and you have every right to. I may have even done more bad things than this, but this is the worst of it. I may have said things, or forgot things, that I just do not remember. I may have hit my mom more times too, but I do not think I did. I do not think I am a complete psychopath, because I do have feelings, I care what people think, I have remorse, I have shame. I have experienced empathy in the past, I have thoughts about harming myself, I cry, I hate myself, I see myself as inferior, I do not purposely manipulate, and I do feel attachment. Apparently, these are all things psychopaths do not feel, but I do. However, I am clearly on the spectrum. In the comments will be 90 things I have done that make me a psychopath. Also, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be really good. I do not know what happened. I know, not all of these things make me a psychopath, but some of them do, and some of them are just bad. It is a horrible feeling when your mom looks at you with fear, and begs you not to go off on one, whilst she is driving, and the kids are in the car. I wasn't going to hit her. It cannot have been nice for her either, and it must have obviously been worse for her. I also think I might have undiagnosed ADHD. It is not an explanation for all of my behavior. I am also a bad person, but it does help to explain why I feel like I have such little impulse control. There are other reasons to believe I have ADHD too. I have reported myself to the police. They will not take me in, for some of T, and my mom will not press charges. They have kept it on record though? I have felt guilty every second, of every day, for the last 10 years, but I still did it all. Obviously, I felt guilty at times before then too. Got into a relationship with the girl that took my virginity and it backfired on me. I'll try to be quick. About a month ago or a bit more, I started dating this girl. We both seemed to fall for each other too quickly, and I liked her a ton. Later she took my virginity, and we continued as a couple for like a week, dating every 2 days or so. I am aware we probably took things way too fast. Either way, she said she's not ready for a relationship yet. But that she still really wanted to see me and couldn't see me as just a friend, so she suggested we stay as friends with benefits at the very least. I agreed, even though I knew it might not end up well considering I still had strong feelings for her, and she, supposedly, had even stronger feelings for me. A week or so later, she invited me to drink with a friend of hers, and friends of the friend. Point is, I didn't know anyone there, and she only knew me and the host. She ended up banging a guy she had literally just met during the party, for lack of a better word, and it made me feel absolutely horrible. I haven't felt this sad and humiliated in years. When I realized oh shit they went into the bedroom, and locked the door, I had to go to the bathroom and cried for like 10 minutes. Later when she came out of the bedroom, her panties on the floor, and a used condom on the bed, she kissed me. This made me trip out so badly, it made me feel so humiliated, and played. I asked her what happened and she said with all of the confidence in the world, nothing. We were not in a relationship, yes, but what hurt the most is that she did it basically in front of me, in the house she invited me to, the day she told me we should leave a little bit early to spend some time alone together. I've already told her that regardless of the ethics of the matter, that I clearly cannot handle this kind of thing, and said goodbye. It's been a few days and it still hurts so much. I get random flashes in my head of her with this guy in bed, and it feels like someone randomly stabbing me I even jolt a bit. Am I overreacting? And how do you think I should take what happened? I feel angry at her, but I partly also just feel angry at myself, and I don't know if I should even be angry at her at all. I don't know. Cheated on my girlfriend. But about 4 years ago I cheated on my current girlfriend. I've held on to this guilt and tried to be the perfect boyfriend, even making self-sacrificing decisions / she messed up and I went back / just have to deal with the guilt building as my love grew for her was immensely tired, hard, and honestly I lost a lot of myself lying and trying to protect her from the truth. I finally told her 2 days ago, as expected she immediately took off. I felt terrible of course. The reasons I chose to spoke up were: before telling her. Well, right before COVID we were together. We broke up at the start due to issues within the relationship, mostly on her side. I started trying to go out and party and try new things. Honestly, I took acid, it completely messed with my head. Made me question the afterlife, and I wondered if when I died and she died if she'd come to realize the truths hidden behind my disgusting past. Once I thought about this it sent me to a mental hell where I felt I'd never be able to get her back nor deserve her. I remember trying not to think about it, which just made it worse. We ended up getting back together. I thought okay, brand new relationship. Maybe I can start over without the guilt / anxiety. The guilt honestly started to grow strong again as my emotions for her grew all over. I knew I'd have to tell her. I didn't know how to though. I was getting stuck in my head and started to be less present. I knew if I wanted something real with her I'd have to tell her. I'd have to have a clean slate for myself to truly love her without limit. Presently, like I said 2 days ago, I told her I had cheated on her. She left me. I honestly fell into shock even when telling her. Because I knew I'd never be ready and just forced it out. She was definitely hurt. I honestly was destroyed knowing the pain and suffering I had caused just to protect my ego and image. I was honestly just sitting in bed in what felt like shock. I feel and felt hella depressed, super anxious, and honestly super ungrounded. I can't explain this feeling at all. It feels like someone died and I just can't come to terms with it. Honestly, call me the luckiest man in the world. Later that night she texted asking to talk. We talked it out, at least to the point of agreeing to start over and be somewhat friends with benefits. Exclusive to each other, until we can both heal from this. Honestly, it feels like this has affected me more than her. But she said she always kinda knew. Which is true. But I still have this feeling in my chest. Shame? Guilt? Grief? Embarrassed maybe? We have spent the last couple days together after she texted me and came back over. I'm not sure what to do as a person now. I still feel all these feelings. I want to love her but also don't always feel like I deserve to. My sexual desires have plummeted to pretty much. I'm crying constantly and feeling overwhelmed by everything, even her. I can't concentrate. I'm just basically feeling bad. Any advice on how to move forward? My emotions feel limited and whenever overwhelmed I panic. Which is making it even hard to appreciate her being right next to me, but the thought of her leaving tears me apart more. I'm trying my best but I just don't feel enough. I don't expect her to change, but I want to be better mentally for her to cherish our moments. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.